So I'm Rosie. I have three boys. Um, I have one that's 20, one that's 16, and one that is 13. So I started this business. Basically, it was just like a God thing, like the door just kind of opened up or whatever. So I used to run a mechanic shop, and so I went from that to like a boutique. So it was like a really like huge change for me or whatever. Um, but that's really it. Like I can kind of get more into it
Yeah. So
when you have
you
more
you
questions.
ran or you operated, owned a mechanic shop?
I didn't own it. I just ran it for a friend of mine.
Hmm.
He's got two businesses, and so he just needed someone in there that could like keep it going because he couldn't be there. So yeah, so I ran it, did all the I worked out in the shop some if I had to,
Hmm.
ordered all the parts, did all the estimates, did all the payroll. So it was a huge transition.
Yeah. What do you think the biggest lesson or what did you learn from running the mechanic shop that has helped you now
um,
with your
well, I
business?
mean, I've ran other things other than that, but I think with the mechanic shop, because you're dealing with more public people and like money and just, I think it just helped me like learn how to just manage things a little bit better, understand like how business works, as far as like trying to keep it open, how to draw in customers, how to manage the financial part of it, things I've not ever had to do before. So obviously when you're doing that for someone else's and that's their money, you're going to learn and you're going to do the best that you can. So I think that kind of helped me whenever I started into the brick and mortar. Like I understood it just a little bit better and just like the hardship of it too, because it's not easy. It's pretty hard. It has its rough moments. So
Okay. Well, tell us what Everything Rose is and kind of how the value that you provide to your customers.
So Everything Rose is a boutique. But I wanted to venture out and do something different. Pottsville is small, but it is growing, and so I wanted to bring just something different and unique to that community. So I decided, well, hey, I'm just going to start adding a little bit of everything in there. So I thought, I could do vendors, people who have things that they enjoy to do, more like hobbies, because everyone has a job. So I thought, if I could help them get their stuff out, get their names out there, get them known, that would be great too. That's helping them also. And then it also just brings a little bit more to Pottsville. There's not anything there like that. I'm pretty much the only thing there
Hmm.
as far as that goes. Um, and so basically, so we have just, everyone it's from the community. I do have a couple people in there who, one's from New Mexico, one's from Illinois that reached out to me. And so I brought in their products as well. So I think that's pretty neat to have, people from different states that found me because I'm such a small.
How did they find you?
I think they just found me through, well, one of them knew me, but she had moved and then she had seen that I had opened up a business and stuff. So she had reached out to me. The other one, I think she just come across my page, like
Mhm.
going, like scrolling through. And so we just got to talking, and actually we talk quite often now. And so I was like, hey, I was like, I would love to carry your stuff if you're willing to ship it or whatever. And so that's what she's been doing. So I think it's pretty neat just to have, other people that's not from here also in there. I think it makes it a little bit different. Um, on top of that, I do like a ministry. So I have like a ladies' night. So we do like Bible studies.
Mhm.
And then I'm fixing to start a teens' night. So it'll be teen girls, 13 to 19. And we'll set that up a little bit different for them. But it's just something just to bring people in. I feel like God opened that door for me for a reason. And so obviously I want to be obedient and do that. Um, so I've had good success just with that, people just coming in. I have, when you first walk in, like there's a table, there's a Bible there, and it has like a jar for prayer requests and stuff like that. They can just drop it in there,
Mhm.
keep it private. No one else sees it but me. And so I think building those relationships with those people is what has also helped it grow just a little bit. And it's just different. Like you don't really see that a lot, I don't think, around here. And if you do, I've not, I don't know about it. Um, But I just feel like people just sometimes, especially for women, I do have a lot of men that come in there, and that's fine. I'm gonna try to start a men's line, like a small men's line, because, like I said, I would like to bring a little bit to a little of everything for everybody, in there. But I just feel like women just struggle. Teen girls just struggle. Life's just hard. I think a lot of times they're just hard on themselves as far as like how they look, what people think about them. We just live in an ugly world. And so in my shop, as you walk through, you'll see on every wall, every room, there's scriptures posted all over the place. In the bathrooms, on the mirrors, I have like "You are beautiful." So like when they walk in there, that's what they're gonna see the first thing. Um, so it's kind of just to give them confidence, to build them up, and also just know, hey, yeah, you can come in here and shop, but you can also come in here and just talk, or if you just need someone to pray with you, or if you just need to cry, or if you just need to laugh. I think sometimes women just need that. And so God just kind of drew me in that direction. So that's been just that's like my main goal, honestly, is, just be able to reach out to people, but to build a personal relationship also. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
So how many people live in Pottsville? Only a few thousand,
Oh,
right?
Lord. Yeah, there's not very many. I'm actually from Dover. So I live north of Dover. So, I mean, I'm like in a community that I didn't even grow up in. I grew up in Dover, and so God just kind of took me out in that direction. So, I think that's also a pretty neat thing too, just to be, in a community that I didn't grow up in. But yeah, there's not very many. It's not very big.
How many vendors do you have in your
I
store?
have about 40 in there right now.
Okay.
So I have quite a bit in there. We just expanded. I just expanded it in January. So we opened up a whole nother suite. And so we expanded into that suite. And so I have about 40 in there, and it's still growing. So I'm still making room. It's getting tight in there, but I'm making room for others. I have a couple more that's going to come in and things like that. So I try to, if they want to come in, I do my best to make the room for it.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, what are the biggest challenges of running a business like this, where you're providing a
Um,
platform for other vendors?
so it is challenging. Number one, I feel like for any mom and pop business, as what I call it, I feel like uh, people may not really understand the hardship and the challengings of trying to keep that open for yourself and for other people. So I think my challenge is, you're in a small community. We're kind of we're not off the road or anything, so we're kind of middle of nowhere. So that kind of makes it a little challenging for us as well. Um, just trying to keep the foot traffic and the flow, and people knowing, hey, I'm here, we exist. That has been a challenge for us as well. But I will say over the year it has grown a lot. I'm very active on like social media and Facebook and things like that, to try to help that and stuff, and it helps a lot.
So what's been the most effective part of like what's been the best marketing tool you've used?
I feel like, honestly, lives. I feel like if I go live on Facebook, um, and just kind of talk to people just like I'm talking to you, and then kind of show the store, talk about other vendors and things, I think that helps a lot, because people get to know you on a personal basis if they don't come into the store, because they get to see you, they get to hear your talk, they get to see your emotions, and I think that's important, for people to. So I think that's probably the most effective part for me, is just being live on Facebook.
When did you start doing those?
So I've done them all the time. So I'm always on there. I've just tried to do different things. It's just crazy because I'm on there constantly. Like, it's very active. My Facebook page is very active. But I have people that live like right down the road, and they'll come in and be like, "Oh my gosh, how long have you been here?" And I'm like, "Oh, 2 years." They're like, 2 years. So I feel like the challenge there too is there's been so many different businesses over there, and they've not stayed. And so I think people just forget,
Mm.
hey, there's people over there, because there's other businesses over there as well besides me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just try to, you know, do my best to kind of get it out there. Hey, there is people over here. We want to be a part of, the community. And we want people to come in and just see what we have and what we offer and get to know me and things like that. So,
Wow, Facebook Live. So is that something you think most business owners should be trying to
I
Do they
think
explore for their business?
I think so. I think it might sound silly, but I feel like we can get on there and we can post all day long. Like I can post pictures and I can write things on there and stuff. And I think it's harder to really get to know someone and know where they come from just by reading something or seeing something versus actually hearing them talk, seeing their face. I think you really can know someone just by like this. And the same there, I might not be in front of them, but they're seeing, my expressions, they're hearing my tone and things. So I think it is a good idea to kind of get out there. And I had to really step out of my comfort zone. I'm a very outgoing person. I'm a people person. I'm not really shy, but I don't like to be put on the spot. So I've really had to, those have been some challenges. I've really had to just step out of my comfort zone and be like, you know what, I just got to do it. So I think that if they can get past that, I think it would help a lot.
What does a typical live look like? What do you talk about? Are you answering questions in
Um,
the comments?
I just wing it. I'm one of those. I don't have a plan. I just wing it. I just get up one day and I'm like, you know what? We're going to go live. So I'll just go live and I'll just get on there and just be like, hey, it's Rosie. Good morning. I hope everyone's having a great day. I just want to do a walkthrough, kind of show you some new things that's been brought in. So I'll just do like a quick walkthrough through all of the vendors, showing everything. If I have something that's coming up, like an event or something, I'll talk about that. And sometimes I'll get on there and I'll just be like, hey, I might share a scripture or just something that God's laid on my heart. Sometimes I get on there and I'll just be like, hey, if you have any prayer requests, you can just shoot them in the comments. Or if you want to keep it private, you can just private message me. Just different things all the time. So right now I have a small coffee bar. It's not anything special, but it's free. And I just take donations. So I've hooked up with the Pottsville School District. And so all those donations will go to the school. So it's just going to go towards the kids that need they're just less fortunate that need things and stuff like that. So I was able to work with the school district to do that. So that's one of my ministries that I'll keep going throughout the whole year. Is just people can come in, get a coffee. If you want to donate, you can. If you don't, that's fine too, But I just get on there and wing it. I don't ever know. Yeah. My sister-in-law is always like, I cannot do that. But I'm just one of those. It just comes to me. Once I get on there, it just comes to me. So
do you see that as like part of the value that you provide to your vendors? Like, hey, I'm marketing your providing a place and doing marketing for you.
Yes, because like I said, they all have jobs. They can't just be there and stuff. So I take the time I post their stuff. I take pictures daily. I schedule posts for those things to go out. I do videos daily for them. Sometimes I go live and try to push some of their sales for them and take sales through the live and just pull stuff as it sells. And that way it helps them too. It helps them sell their things and kind of get their names out there. I try to introduce each vendor, who they are and what they do and things like that. So I think that's something that I offer that kind of helps them out. That's a little bit different.
Yeah. Have you seen any of your vendors like you have 40? How do you find them? Do they find you?
So that's funny because the first year I started there, I had someone was with me or whatever. So I kind of knew a few people. She kind of knew a few people or whatever. Well, when she left, it was already small. Like the shop was already small. We didn't have very many people in there. And so everyone, like a lot of people just kind of like pulled out or whatever. So I was like, oh gosh, I'm panicking, because we were closed for Christmas break. And so I was opening in 4 days. So I'm like stressing out and I was like, I'm done. I'm just going to close shop. I can't, it's just stressful or whatever. And so my brother's like, no, you're not, So I just started praying about it. And I was like, you know what, God, just, I stepped out, I leaped out in faith, quit a full-time job, So you just bring them to me. Whoever needs to be in here, you just place them in here. Well, before the 4 days, I had 20 people come in before we opened in 4 days. And then by 2 weeks, I had like 40 people on just that side before I even expanded. Oh, so it was very tight over there. So I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to expand at some point, So that's when it just kind of come available or whatever, and I was able to expand and kind of spread people out, and I can bring more people in there. But
so are most people heard about you? Those 40 people, was it mostly word of mouth, or were you
I think they just seen, like, because like I said, I get on there and I post a lot, and I do a lot of lives. So then, like, people would just start messaging me, hey, do you have this type of things in there? Hey, do you have this? And I'm like, no. And so I'm like, you can come in and meet me, check it out, see what you think first, pray about it, whatever you got to do. So that's pretty much how it all started, was just, people would just start asking questions if they can come in. And so they pretty much found me. I tried not to look for people, just because I feel like the right ones, God will send the right ones that need to be in there, that He knows that needs to be in there. And so all 40 of them are just great. Like, they're amazing. We all have a good relationship. We're all friends. We hang out. So I think it's just definitely a God thing for sure. Yeah.
Do you think this community in general has a lot of entrepreneurs like this that do most of them make their products, or
yes? So obviously some of the boutiques do not, but like, I have everyone else that's in there makes their products. So there's like soaps, there's honeys, there's jams, there's hair products, there's door signs, there's I have a girl who does plants. I have a florist that just come in, so she does flowers, parties, whatever, real fake flowers. I have a merchandise room, and it's just a little bit of everything in that room. I have a consignment room, a small consignment room I started that I want to expand, in there as well. But yeah, the majority of them makes their own thing. So there's a lot in there. There's a little bit of everything in there. Freshies,
what's a freshie?
I can't name them all. For your car, like a car freshie.
Gotcha. Wow, I didn't realize that there were that many people around here doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Cool. It's crazy. So I actually just made a post because I'm trying to do something more unique, like something I don't have in there. Like I said, I'm trying to bring in more of a men's line, men's accessories and stuff. So I've made a post like, hey, if you can, like, give me some ideas of something that you don't see very much of that you would like to have around here, So that's something that I'm trying to get people to give me some feedback on, because at the end of the day, we're trying to, we want to pamper them and bring stuff in that they enjoy and would like to see. And so it helps me just getting their opinions. So I think that matters too. I think if people know if they matter and what they like matters and stuff like that, they're going to respect you and they're going to support you and stuff like that. So
what's the best seller that you have?
I'm going to say the honey for sure. The honey and the clothes. The clothes are huge sellers. The soaps and the freshies. Those are like the things that people just, and the plants. Boom, 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 boom. Now that I have the florist in there, that's been a hit too. I have people calling like, hey, can she do this? Can she do that? And stuff like that. So they all do good in there, but those are probably the main things that just tend to go really quick. And the t-shirts, I have graphic tees and stuff in there, and those tend to go pretty quick too. So.
Wow. Have you tried running any sort of advertising before?
So, no. No. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of scary because some of that stuff's expensive, and so you're just like, should I just do it myself, or do I? I'm one of those, like, sometimes I overthink things. My husband's just like, you have to spend money to make money. Yeah. And I'm just like, but no, but that is something that I have been looking into is doing something a little bit different as far as the advertising part.
Can I share something with you?
Yeah.
And I want to share this to everyone listening too, because it's something that we've recently started doing for our business, and it's been way more effective than other forms of advertising we've done, which is Facebook ads. So this is different than boosting a post, specifically not boosting a post. Facebook has a couple different ways you can build an ad with them.
Okay.
Have you ever boosted a post before? You ever see that button that says boost to reach more people?
Yes.
So that's kind of like the easy way. They make it really easy for them to get your money.
Yes.
And what it does is it boosts it. But we've started running this ad, and we've spent maybe I mean, you can spend like $1 a day. That's $30 a month.
Okay.
And you can actually see results with it. So you just go into the Facebook Ads Manager for anyone listening, and you just set up a simple ad. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It can be a picture of your store. It can be several pictures of video, and then you write a bit about your store. Just obviously tell people, hey, this is a boutique in Pottsville. We have XYZ. Of course, the thing that makes you unique, and then the goal of the campaign in Facebook, you just run for people to like your page. You don't try to get them to go to a website. You don't try to get them to watch a video. But if you run it for likes, your page will get more likes, which is cool, but that doesn't mean much in terms of making money. But it has worked for us. Like just the amount of people that are aware of what we do, and it's been very, very cost effective. So I mean, that's something you can do for $30 a month. Maybe not. If you don't even want to spend that, you want to try it for 2 weeks. Just use $20 for 2 weeks, and in this community, the River Valley, Pope County, it's just so small. So you do a little bit of advertising, and then it works. But then they go to, word of mouth is a big thing.
Yes.
So they'll go tell their people.
Yes.
And before you know it,
I agree. The word of
people
mouth.
know
Yeah,
about you.
that's a good idea. I'll have to try that. Like I didn't know there was a difference in the ads and the boosting. I'm like really old fashioned, so I'm learning along the way with all that stuff too. So
absolutely. I mean, I think that's hopefully most business owners. You're always learning.
Yes.
It's like we try things and then we fail, and then it's just important to be able to learn from that.
Yes. I think it's good to fail sometimes. I think people are scared. It is scary because you don't want to fail. I don't mean to fail completely, but I mean I think it's good to fail at times because it is a learning experience. And if you don't fail, then you can't learn. You can't learn from anything, by doing that. So I've definitely had my ups and downs and had to learn things the hard way for sure. I think the last year was probably my roughest year, just business wise. Trying to grow because people come, people go. And that's something you have to expect, especially when you have vendors in there and things like that. And that's fine because, some things aren't going to move where other things will. And so it gets discouraging from time to time, But I will say last year was probably one of my roughest years. We lost my dad. He passed away. And so both of our parents are gone. And so last year was just one of those things where you just wanted to give up, like I'm done, don't want to do anything, everything just seems to be falling apart, And so, and of course I had my middle child a couple of years ago, he had brain surgery. So all this was like in the middle of me, like going into the brick and mortar and getting started and stuff like that. And my youngest one's autistic. And so I was homeschooling him also. So he would come to work with me. So I'd have to homeschool him, do all that. So there's like a lot of challenges in that with a lot of things that were failing on top of that in the business and stuff. But I feel like at the end of the day, it all worked out. Like I learned from those, things, the failures and stuff. And I learned a different way. I got to approach things or do things this way. And all those challenges, I think, just kind of made me stronger and stuff. And then boom, it's just like, within a year, I mean, we've expanded and it's grown. And so when you look back from where you are now to where you were then, it's like, failing's not so bad if you take it and you learn from it and you make some adjustments, But you just can't give up, I think it's just something that you have to push through and just kind of gather your thoughts and, and if it's meant to be, if it's a God thing, it's going to work out, but you have to be able to have that faith and that trust and just keep going, knowing that it's going to be handled and that he's got you and stuff like that. So I do think failure is not necessarily always a bad thing. I think we all need that from time to time.
Yeah. The way I like to view it is failure is good. You're going to learn if you learn from it.
Yes.
Quitting, not so good.
No, I agree. Yes. And sometimes you do. Sometimes you just want to quit. Because it's easy. It's the easy way out,
Yep.
But you can't quit. You get nowhere if you quit. So.
Absolutely. Rosie, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience and the people that are listening?
Yeah, I mean, I do, like, I'm very thankful for the support that we do get. We do have a lot of support and it has grown. And so we always appreciate that. And we love all of our people that come in and go. And if you haven't been to the store. We would love people to come by and just check it out. Just kind of walk around, get to know me. I'm there all the time. Um, but and I just I want to see the community grow. I think that um, just here in Russellville through Pottsville and even Atkins, I mean, I think we have such a good community, and it can grow. We just have to have the support and stuff like that. People just know that people are there and we're here. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Like I just love the support that we do have. For all these small businesses and stuff. So that's very appreciated.
Yeah. I imagine in Pottsville it's so small and tight knit. Get a lot of
It is
people supporting you.
everything.
What was
Yes.
did y'all get many visitors for the eclipse?
Well, I was closed.
Your
So
close.
well, I
But as far as
opened.
Pottsville goes, did you
Yes,
notice
yes. So
any?
I was there through the weekend. It was pretty busy through the weekend. As far as Monday goes, I really don't know, but there was definitely some
Mhm.
high foot traffic going on
Yeah.
on the weekend. So I was just like, oh my gosh. And I think that was great too. Just people from around all other places getting to come into a small town, because I mean,
Mhm.
we're not a very big, it's not a very big town. So to have people come and just see the uniqueness of it was pretty neat. So
Absolutely. Well, Rosie, thanks for coming on the podcast talking about everything. Rose, can you tell people your address and the best way to maybe it's Facebook or website?
yes, so we're located at 5395 West Ash Street in Pottsville. And you can go on Facebook and follow me at Everything Rose. Just click on there, hit follow, and like everything you need to know will be on there. Like I'm
Yeah.
on there every day. So that's probably the best way that you'll get info and things like that.
And what's the next vendor that you want? The next thing you want to add to the
Oh gosh.
store? Is it a
I,
men's line of
well, I am thinking of
something?
some type of clothes for the men's line, but like accessories. I don't know. I need people to like tell me. I have some people saying, "Oh, we need some fishing stuff," and and things like that. So, honestly, I really don't know. I'm
Mm.
I'm pondering on that. You would think I would know having 3 boys, but
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah, it'd be
It's
cool
hard.
if there's someone around here that made fish and stuff. Like, have you ever seen those hand reels?
Yes.
Those are cool.
Yes. So actually, growing up, the old way that they do it, we used to have one.
Mhm.
So I think it would be neat to have like just stuff like that where, because I have a lot of men that come in there, so I want to be able to accommodate them also. So that's my next big thing is just like a men's line. So I'm up for any like advice or input on that, so they can get on there and kind of help me out a little bit.
Yeah. Awesome. I think I like that you're doing the lives, and I kind of want to, before we wrap it up, I just want to reiterate because we have a lot of business owners that listen. We
Okay.
like to, break down like what works and what doesn't work for some businesses. So doing Facebook Lives, and in your case, you're actually using it as a way to market
Mm-hmm.
for your vendors
Yes.
and grow them as well. So I think that's a really, really good move. And just think about how you can use any sort of Facebook Live to, even, I mean, what I would probably recommend myself doing, everyone else, is just go watch some of yours and see how you've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
try to learn
different
from
every
that.
time. I think you need to keep it unique. You don't want to go on there and talk about the same things all the time. Like and sometimes we just get on there and we just talk. So there's been times where um, me and my sister-in-law, like we might just get on there and we'll just kind of just talk about different things about life and just, the toughness of it, just to be real. So people know, life isn't just peaches and creams either. So that's another way for them to just to get to know, like, who I am and how,
Mhm.
I do things and things like that is just to be real. So I think sometimes you just need to get on there and just be real about life. If I have something, like if I'm having a rough week, sometimes I just get on there and I'm like, hey, if anybody's going through, blah, blah, and I kind of do a run through of what I'm going through, but also use it as a testimony too, because we all go through things, and sometimes people just feel alone. So every one of my lives are just different. It's just whatever is laid on my heart for that day or that week or something like that. So I think you just need to keep it real, and so people can just kind of get to know you on a personal basis. I think that's what really, really helps is they get to go on there and like, oh my gosh, everything's just not peaches and creams. I think sometimes you get on things and their life is just awesome. And I'm like, man, I wish
Yeah.
mine was like that.
That's
But
one of
it's
the dangers
not
of social media. You know.
Yes, but realistically, it's not. And so I think just being real, people appreciate that. You just be yourself. Like, don't try to be like. That's one thing. Like small businesses, you got sometimes you got so many things of the same things, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're doing so good, so I want to be like that, or I want to be like this. But no, you just need to be yourself. Like, just figure it out. Just be unique, be yourself. Do things that you enjoy to do, that you want to bring to other people's life. You don't have to be like John Doe over here. Because that's not being real. So I think people appreciate that more, when it's just, this is who she is, you get what you get with her, she is what she says type thing, or he. And so I think that's something else that I've noticed too, that I kind of draw away from. I'm just like, just be, you don't have to be like that. Just, be yourself. And I think that it will grow better that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Rosie. Is there anything else?
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.